All right. Let's go with this one. I like this one.
Yeah, it's very
All right, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to start with white. I'm just going to take a little bit of white dabber.
Oh, yeah. White dabber.
Just going to get some paint on this. I want this to be fairly white. Then I'm just going to lightly go over the top, because if you just dab the paint on, it's going to be just too wet when you go to stamp it. So then we're going to stamp our image, lift it, clean it off our stamp. Good enough. Don't get carried away. And we'll dry this. It's cool, isn't it?
I keep thinking about my journal.
It's a really unique surface. I like it. So this, I'm just drying the white paint. All right. And then I'm going to go in and just add some different colors. So I'm going to go in and grab a few colors of distress. Try to go a little bright, not too bright. I'll work a little
Too bright
bit.
is too much.
So I'm just going to work with an ink blending tool, just working from the outside edge in. And the cool thing about distress is their ability to blend. So I usually have an ink tool dedicated to each color family. It just depends on what color family it is I'm using. Going with a little bit of rusty hinge. And you don't have to really think about what colors you use where. It really doesn't matter. They'll all blend together. And here we're working with a little bit of fired brick. You can always go back and add colors. I think that's my most favorite thing about distress, is the ability to go in and manipulate your colors. So here's just some wild honey. Now for me, that's a little bright, so I'm going to go over the whole thing with brown.
Yeah, that's great.
So I'm just going to start with some frayed burlap. So a color like frayed burlap's really a great brown, because you can go into, even though you're going to keep it colorful, it's just going to make it a little bit more vintage. We'll add a little bit of green down here. Some crushed olive.
Black edges, black edges.
Love it. I love black soot for that, especially. All right, so on this, I'm just going to go in with different colors and actually work with various elements of this. So I'm just going to go in and work with my stamp, and I'm just going to use my stamp just as itself, just kind of unmounted.
I'm sure. Yes, yeah.
And I'm not really worrying about using this set mounted, because I don't care to. Just kind of going with the distresser. Just kind of distress the edges. I'm just going to go with a scratch tool a little bit too. Yeah. gotta have a little black soot. And I'm just adding my colors right now because I'm really far from done with this. So next I'm going to work with a little bit of water. Just gonna spray this right onto the towel and just wipe over this. Now, cool thing about the dabber is it's always gonna resist whatever you put on top of it. And by going over this with water, that's also going to help soften or dilute the images behind it. Now, if you grab the neck of the bottle and you can kind of spritz some water on it, and then we go in and start drying it, it gives it a really cool effect because, like I was saying, distress is reactive with water. And so our background went from that, you know, really vibrant, intense color to kind of more of a mottled background. Just from the water that we added. But I'm going to go back and add more color to it. And then I usually just end up going with whatever ink is left on the ink tool. I don't need to bother with adding more at this point. Just depends on what colors you want to go for. Alright, so here we're going to go in with a little bit of Perfect Pearl Mist. This is just a Perfect Pearl in a resin, so it's more of like just a pearlized spray. It doesn't have any ink color to it, it just has a pearl color, but a little bit goes a very, very long way. So you don't need much of that at all. Here I'm just putting a little bit of stain on there. Just getting it to drip down just a bit. Just because I'm making a messy tag, she said I could. I've been coloring for 2 days, so it's fun to just play. Now I'm just going in with a little bit of rusty hinge, but I have some of the stain, so I'm just kind of picking that up with my blending tool, and that's reacting that distress right away. So it just helps bleed the color right into the background. The messier, the better. Let's see what we want to stamp on here. Alright, so here I'm just going to take a grid block, just mount the text on the grid block. So when I go to mount a stamp on a grid block, I usually just look at the text and make sure that it's running parallel with one of the lines. That's all you have to think about when you're stamping. And we're going to ink this up. And we'll just go in, give it some good pressure. A little bit of ribbon. Here's crinkle ribbon. So crinkle ribbon, this is just a ribbon from Ideology. It's sold in a 10-yard pack. It's actually just a flat ribbon, it's just a white ribbon, but it is designed to take color. So if you want to incorporate ribbon on a project and you want to make it whatever color you want to coordinate with your project, this will do it. So a couple of tips. First off, if you're going to work with the ribbon, I like to go in and actually mist it with a little bit of water first. That's just going to give it more of a gradation of color. And then we can go in with our stains. You could take your ink pad if you wanted to. But I'm just going to take some colors of the stain and literally just swipe through there. And the cool thing about this particular ribbon is that you can just wad it up, wrinkle it into a ball, and we're just going to dry it. So this is a ribbon that doesn't burn, so you don't have to worry about melting it with a heat tool. You can use any colors that you want on there. Even all that blue, you don't have to worry about the stains coming off on your fingers. And we're just going to dry it. Now, if you dry it flat, it will stay flat. If you crinkle it up and dry it, it will stay crinkled. That's why it's called crinkle ribbon. It's a pretty great ribbon. Has a little bit more body to it that a seam binding ribbon does. And just by misting it with a little bit of that water first, that's what gives it that really nice gradation of color when it's finished. And then I normally just go with whatever's on the ink tool. Yeah, just to add some color to it. Let's see what's in the box.
Something little, something little.
Something. There's got to be something in the box. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm just
Keeping only a small crowd. It's got to be 6
It's
deep
a
here.
good
I
little
won't touch
treasure box,
anything.
huh? It's a good little box. Yeah, these are super fun.
Yeah.
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 You won't touch anything.
I'm not touching. My hands are on the table, flat.
I like these little gears. Yeah. I know, I could use the whole box, but I won't. Have to refrain. Yeah, I've yet to alter the box yet. To put it away from you to make it far away.
Yeah. I stay in the corner.
Yeah. I actually think I'm going to have a couple of fasteners, so I'm going to get some mini fasteners. Don't you have a box like this full at home? No?
Never have got enough of that stuff, you know?
You never have enough?
Yeah, never.
You always need more.
I don't have that nice stuff.
Really? I need to help you with that.
I think so.
I think so. I think I can.
I use it. I love everything, as you see.
You do. You use a little bit of
You know, I'm
everything.
an expensive crafter, I think.
Because you use a little bit of everything? So it's a package of this, a package of that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's so hard.
See, this is why I don't because I can get so caught up in it. Yeah, but I think the best part of crafting is as long as you use it, it's okay. As long as you use it.
That's my husband's says.
Yeah, don't wait.
I have to use all my stuff.
Yeah, you have to use it. It's,
Yeah.
Do you know how many people go, oh, and they put it away, oh, I can't use that. I couldn't possibly use that.
No, that's impossible. You may use everything.
Yeah.
Believe me,
I use everything.
everything.
Yeah. That's
And
exactly
I
what
have
I
to,
do.
because if not, my husband will throw away my stuff.
Oh, if you don't use it, he'll throw it away?
Yeah.
That's good.
I've learnt never to
Keeps
hold
you
on to
using it
sticky
then.
things because they don't stick any longer.
That's why
And so here I'm just using the mini fasteners and I just use my craft pick.
Haven't you got any fingernails then, Tim?
No, I'd rather use a craft pick. Because then I can use that and then just use the back and I don't have to worry about using my fingernails.
that's a problem.
Yeah. So then you have gears that's what I love about the mini gears is that they move. So it's fun. Yep. Screw this on with a little bit of multi-medium and you're done.
You know, I didn't know what the word haters was until I put the photo of you and me on Facebook.
Oh no, I was gonna send him an
That's it,
email
huh?
already. He's gonna be my husband next.
Oh yeah? Next?
Husband wrote on it. He goes, okay,
Next?
I'll bite. Who's Tim?
Get in line,
Well, I
huh?
didn't know if you were married or not.
Yeah.
So
It was.
that was bad.
Yeah, it's not the lifestyle for that. If you heat up metal with multi-medium, I mean, it dries a little bit quicker, but it's super hot. You just have to remember that when you touch it, it's going to be freaking blistering hot. But there you go. A nice little single layered tag. Just for you. Yep.
Because I have a big suitcase.
Mas não deixa para